Have you ever noticed that your voice sounds very different when you're just speaking versus when you hear yourself on a recording, whether it's on a video or even a voicemail? Most people find that it not only sounds different, but they actually don't like the way it sounds when they hear themselves on a recording. Your first impression or your first gut response seems to be something like, oh my gosh, is that really me? That's not what I sound like, is it? So why does that happen? Well, when you're listening to somebody else, the sound enters, it goes in your ears, it hits the eardrum, which sends a signal to the auditory nerve and sends that signal up to the brain to process what you've heard. So it's sort of a monotrack of sorts. Whereas when you are speaking, you are, of course, going to hear your own voice go into your ears and have that same track up to your brain, but there's a whole other input system at the same time. The air starts in your lungs, it goes up through your throat, up through your vocal cords. There's vibrations all along the way. It's banging along your vocal track, and then it starts to echo and reverberate around inside the oral cavity, inside your mouth, inside your nasal cavity, even inside your head. It reverberates against the bones. It makes everything vibrate. So you're getting this surround sound of sorts in addition to the external input through your ears. And there's this much fuller resonance, this wonderfully rich sound that comes forth. I don't even like the way that I sound on a recording. I think I sound much better inside my own head. But it is what it is. It's the way that you really sound. People don't hear what you hear. They only hear the external part. They only hear the mono sound, not the full stereo. So what I recommend is if you take a look at the post, not only do I explain this in a little bit more detail, but then I'll offer you 3 tips to make sure that whether you're speaking and listening to yourself as you talk, or whether you hear yourself on a recording, that you are able to produce your fullest, richest, most beautiful voice for everyone to hear at all times. So here's to a healthy voice, a healthy speaking habit, and a great presentation.